Hi folks, I just thought I'd record for a little bit whilst I was doing some basing. I've finished quite a big batch of ancient Celts, not Celts, ancient Britons specifically. I've done the woad on them and I've tried to attempt a sort of tartan pattern on some of them. Some being the appropriate word. I haven't really had time to go through on all of them. And the shields are looking a little dull as well. The conversions I'm really happy with. These are the Victrix heads. Probably need to show those off a little bit. Get some Plutarch. Yeah, I need to plastic glue these down to the Renaldra bases. I'm going to try and cram on four to a base. And they're bigger than the 40 by 40s. I think these are something like 50. I think they're the 40 depth. I think they've got a little bit of extra frontage, sorry. Yeah, these haven't even had a matte varnish. I'm just going to do it with a can outside because we've got some lovely weather. Really happy with those. Those are sort of undyed cotton. Yeah, happy with them. There's sort of, well, I don't know, there's quite a few woad patterns that I've attempted. But I think the shields have been my main downfall. I haven't really gone all out with them. And yeah, that was one of the Victrix nobles that I got off James. Really nice figure. Hopefully the camera doesn't die out on me too much. Don't have all that much battery left. Not the most sensible of times to be making a video. But yeah. So I've got the Celts out on the table, there's a chariot off to one side. That'll wait for a little bit because I'm quite enthused about the next project, which is going to be the Very British Civil War, and I'm going to have a game of that next Thursday, I believe, at the Carmarthen Wargaming Club. It's a bit, I would say it's a trek. It is our local town, but because we live in such a rural area, town can be a bit of a distance to get to. I think it takes 3/4 of an hour, something like that. But it'll be worth it, definitely. I'm going to try and make an effort to go tomorrow night and meet everyone and hopefully start going over there. They do these sort of, I think it's a tighter knit club than Cardiff, which had lots of different sort of splinter groups, I suppose, but because I suppose out of necessity this is quite a tight knit group, which I quite like the sound of. I'm going to be seeing how these sort of Celts mingle on these bases. I've been trying to do some Hail Caesar stands rather than the single bases that I'm used to. I've seen a lot of very nice Hail Caesar type armies. There's one army I saw recently that they're doing the Picts. I don't remember the name of the guy. He does some really awesome stuff. I think he also does, he's got an orc army as well, for 40k. Can't remember his name now. I follow quite a few wargaming YouTubers. That's Stig of the Dump, maybe? Possibly. But yeah, very good channel, and the Picts that he's done are just immense. So, what we're going to do here now. There's some figures that I'm happy to fill out the back ranks, and some that I really want in the forefront. Just get my Stanley knife and do some scoring. It's actually quite difficult to work around the camera. I haven't varnished the shields and figures yet, which is not very sensible. But I've sort of I wouldn't say it's a rush job. I really spent some time on the flesh. This is a sort of light flesh. I don't know if you can see in the back there. I'm happy with how light it's come out. There's quite a lot of Vallejo light in there, but it hasn't come out like the colour white. It's just a very light flesh. So I thought it would be nice for the ancient Britons rather than the sort of warmer skin tones that you see a lot. Gonna get my plastic layer, poly cement. I've got everything in arm's reach now. Got loads of room for a big desk and things. Pretty tidy setup. I do say so myself. If only I could find the poly cement. There we go. So yeah, I'm gonna make a start on these now. Might have to use super glue on some of them to adhere them to the bases, just because of the weight of the shields. They're quite front heavy, a lot of them. The fumes of poly cement. It has been some very nice weather. I've been painting a section of the fence, and we have quite a lot of fence to do. Sometimes you have like a small garden, and there's not much need to paint stretches and stretches of the fence, but our fence goes around the garage, and well, I don't see why. There's no real space that you can use behind the garage, but there we go. Just one of those things. It's nicer to have more space than not enough. Yeah, like he's quite front heavy now. But we'll see how he gets on if we score the base and put some plastic glue on there. I bought some Storm Boys for my little brother, or no, sorry, Gretchens. That'll be the first Warhammer 40,000 I've painted in a very long while. And don't worry, I'm not going over to the dark side. Just think that would be nice if I prime them white for him and do like a green wash, just dilute some, I don't know, I've got a Luftwaffe green, which is quite a nice bright green, and just thin that down a bit for him. Doesn't have very good motor skills, like hand-eye coordination, but I don't think he'd enjoy this sort of, well, I don't think he can do this sort of fine painting that we do, but I thought anything to get him involved, really. Just got a nice glass of ginger beer. I do like Krabby's ginger beer, but sometimes I have sort of funny stages of liking it and then not liking it. I would like to make my own. That'd be interesting. Some of these are the Gripping Beast conversions, and they fit in very nicely. And with the woad and things, and I think that's a Victrix head. It doesn't look out of place, which I was really surprised at. You know, none of these figures that I've converted are looking really funny. The only thing I'd remember with the three main plastic companies, or three in this case now, Gripping Beast, Victrix and Warlord. I'm sure there are other, well, maybe there's a few more companies, but that's all like I can remember for now. Anyway, that's not the point. Just for converting purposes, is he going to cram? He might not cram in the back there. Let's see what we can do. It's a bit of a squeeze even on a larger base. How was that? And the Victrix arms are the narrowest, just because they're built a little bit differently. But Gripping Beast and Warlords particularly work very well. This kind of works there. It's the sort of thing I like to check when I'm doing things, but with the camera in the front it's just a bit of a struggle. Let's see what we've got there. Even these look a little bit crammed. Oh, we could have him in there maybe? It's just all of the question of who do I want in the front rows. What I'll do, I know that the camera doesn't run over 12 or 13 minutes now, so I'll just break down videos into 12-minute chunks, and when I have some time on my hands I'll edit them together, and if not I'll upload them as singles or in 2-parters, 3-parters. That's just easier for me. I'm not going to spend 10 minutes, quarter an hour editing it, only for the editing software I have is great. It's a powerful piece of kit, it's free, it's called Shortcut, But if you've made a video, say it's taken me 20 minutes to record it, and then it takes half an hour to process, and all I'm asking it to do is to clip two things together, well, I'm not particularly happy with that. It's a unnecessary amount of time. So I'm sure you guys are happy with just watching the next one, you know. If it doesn't pop up, it'll just be the next video I've uploaded. But yeah, sorry, but I'm not the most patient when it comes to that, you know. But I do enjoy doing the videos themselves, it's not that. He might go there. Got my hand well and truly in the way there. Polymint is strong stuff when you've got a good plastic bond. James from Welsh Wargaming said that it doesn't work so well on Rubicon kits. I've never tried it on Rubicon. I don't think I've ever built one. Though they always look nice, and I've been meaning to buy one, but I just haven't bit the bullet, so to speak. Sure I will eventually. There's only so long I can avoid it for. Not that I have been avoiding it. Anyway, the new project. It's going to be the Very British Civil War. Someone local to me is very big into the Very British Civil War, and he attends the Carmarthen Wargaming Club. It's the bloke who runs Jemima Vowr's Wargaming blog, and that's centred around Napoleonics, and he's very enthused about he seems to be constantly enthused about the Very British Civil War. And just off to my side here I have First World War cavalry, the British and the Germans behind them. Got those on a deal, and they'll do for the Freikorps for the German Revolution, the Germans, because they're First World War. Cavalry will do for the Very British Civil War. I'm going to do them as sort of a Welsh independent regiment. For the Welsh nationalists, there's more Freikorps from Paul Hicks on the left there, and there's quite a large detachment of Welsh nationalists that I'm making up from the Second World War British Expeditionary Forces. And at the top there I've just got some farmers with shotguns. So I'll cut it off there, folks.